today we have the moon going into Libra, where it will remain over the weekend. We've got some planetary conjunctions that activate some of the thoughts and feelings and what's at the surface over the weekend. Libra brings a focus to partnership and peace. Libra is the sign of the peacemaker. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Saturday and Sunday, August 15th and 16th. Watch for my podcast, episode 11, coming out on Sunday on the lunar node shift. So the lunar nodes moving from Virgo and Pisces into Leo and Aquarius, and what that tells us about collective karma and what is coming to the surface and how that might bring some karmic themes into your life or your thinking or the world around you. So we've got also the moon goes into Libra from earthy practical Virgo at 7:19 a.m. Saturday Pacific. So we have that shift of the moon from Virgo into Libra, the peacemaker, bringing themes of balance and how we get along, having grace, right? A little bit more pleasant, perhaps, following some of the tumult and activations of the fire energy with this week's Leo solar eclipse. So in other words, this weekend is a time for some reconciliation, a time for building bridges, a time to listen to other perspectives, receive those outside voices and opinions, as well as clearly articulating your own. We do have a conjunction of Mercury and Jupiter around 4:30 a.m. Pacific on Saturday. So that conjunction activates themes of how we express ourselves, especially having to do with the voice and language and communication. So how we speak up for ourselves, what we care about, and whether we are expressing that in our authenticity. And with Jupiter, Jupiter adds expansion and abundance to whatever it touches. So with the Jupiter energy of Mercury coming together with Jupiter, those themes of Leo, which has to do with the self and how we express the self, it can be that needing of attention, that needing to be the center of attention, wanting praise, wanting recognition, and how we perform, and where there might be some drama, needing to express ourselves. The focus on the ego, which is just like everything else in astrology, not necessarily a bad thing, right? When we use our ego in positive ways, we can be walking in the world in a way that is recognizing our own importance, but also the importance of others, right? So it's only when we are self-centered to the point where we don't recognize others' importance, but our own self-importance becomes the center of how we view things, if that makes sense. So in other words, the invitation here is to express your truth, but also to build bridges and listen and do the work of seeking balance and harmony, but not from a place of compromising your values, your truth, your genuine things that you need to say. It is about how we will come together and find those ways to cooperate, collaborate, find common ground, and see things from another perspective when we all have our own paradigm. So Jupiter can also be a little dogmatic. It has to do with beliefs and our belief systems and where we might dig in with those beliefs. So in other words, this whole weekend is about finding that path that really works toward peace and harmony and coming together and working together and building bridges and mending rifts, and how we do that together. And we want to watch for any tendencies that we as individuals might have to be attached to our own worldview, attached, to our own self-importance, attached to what we believe and what we think is important and what we think other people should think. So expressing yourself and your truth through your voice, through your messages and your communication and the story you're telling, but in a way that is really genuine to you and also acknowledges that there are other perspectives, and having that moment maybe where you imagine walking in someone else's shoes, because that can give you that reminder that it is not only about you, even though your voice is important, both are true. So this weekend is, if nothing else, just that reminder that both are true. The power of the self and the power of the togetherness. It all can coexist. And those are some of the themes and some of the opportunities that we can step into and move through. And we may need to take that deep breath and step back and remind ourselves to listen more, or take that moment to get clear about what we need to say, right? So both are important. The moon joins up with Venus just around midnight Saturday, heading into Sunday Pacific. And that moon together with Venus in Libra is all about harmony and how we want to feel and how we want to be received, and that ability to be nice. So again, seek out grace, not necessarily being nice at the expense of truth. So being graceful, right, means speaking your truth while also listening to someone else's truth. So again, just deeply emphasizing this need to work toward harmony, to work toward balance, and to look at how we each as individuals can be our best selves in how we show up. And this is a perfect opportunity to look up in the sky to see Venus and the moon together after sunset. So the moon is waxing and in that crescent phase. So after sunset, you'll see it in the western horizon, and together with Venus nearby can be really, really beautiful, and definitely worth going outside to look at the sky and see the moon and Venus together. So heading into Sunday, then we continue with the Libra moon. Once we're past that Libra moon conjunction to Venus, we continue to kind of work through the themes of relationship and partnership, and how we can work together to get on the same page. And also, again, just to take our relationships to the next level of what is possible to achieve together. So you may be, you may have your own selfish needs and wants, which there's nothing wrong with that. But also, you may not realize what is possible as you find common ground together with another person and recognize their wants and needs and wishes, and how acknowledging that and working together can serve you in your own, self well-being, self-care, self-care plus other care, I guess, self-care plus relationship care, all of it really coming to the surface this weekend. So those are my thoughts, and definitely watch for podcast episode 11. It will be posted on my YouTube channel as always, so you can look for it there. You can also find all of my episodes at transformationalastrology.com. This week's episode is on the lunar nodes changing signs and what that means for karma and how to think about it, what's coming to the surface. and how to make the most of those energies. I am Marina Orms. Thank you so much for being here, and grab a free account at transformationalastrology.com so you will be notified of all podcast episodes and anything new that I release there. Thanks for being here, and thanks for subscribing to this YouTube channel. I'm here every day with astrology for unshakable self-care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.